Okay, cool. So today I'm going to talk about living in a chain abstracted world. Now, if you attended any of the BitAsia talks, you might have heard Chain Signatures launched last Wednesday, where Ilya presented on the main stage. So before we even dive into what living in a chain abstracted world looks like, let's first discuss the problem. So Web3 as we know it is currently very fragmented. There's never been more L1s or L2s than there are today in the current market. Now, I remember when I first started working in crypto back in 2016, I couldn't imagine a world beyond Ethereum. It was shocking that when people said, oh yeah, one day there will be multiple L1s and it won't just be Ethereum. That was just like crazy for me to believe. Then here we are in 2024 and the L2 market is saturated. Optimism and Arbitrum are leading it, but we often see more and more L2s pop up. So some of the problems that come from this are that single chain apps limit the addressable market. We have fragmented liquidity, user experiences, developer experiences, and app discovery. They're just very fragmented. And managing dozens of wallets is just not scalable. What do you really want to do? Do you really want to manage 50 wallets, 100 wallets, or potentially have one wallet that's safe, scalable, and secure? And at the end of the day, we're all human and we want really cool economic opportunities and apps to experience. So what about universal access? Imagine having all access to blockchains, to accounts, all on one wallet. It seems crazy to believe, but we're actually getting closer. Now, this statement, when Ilya first said this to me at the beginning of the year, I had such a reaction to it. Today's dApps aren't really dApps. I was like, what? Like, what do you mean today's dApps aren't really dApps? There are so many dApps in the marketplace and a lot of them are thriving. But when you look at what the siloed dApps experiences are today, it's very much like chain specific. You're siloed to that very chain. And if you tuned into his talk on, I believe it was Wednesday last week or Thursday, he talked about a Netflix example. So imagine having to log into Netflix and having to use multiple data servers and saying like, hey, this is too congested. Sorry, you can't get in right now. It would be just a really odd experience. So enter the chain abstraction movement, which was started really at the end of last year. And now today we have so many partners, builders, founders, and researchers are truly spearheading this movement and taking it forward. Partners like Frontier Research, Cosmos, Agoric, Anoma, they're really taking the next step into making chain abstraction a true reality. Now, you can't have real chain abstraction without robust security. And it all starts with a super scalable L1 with Nightshade. I don't know if you saw the news a couple of weeks ago, but we now have 6 shards live on Near, which is really impressive. And then enter data availability on Near, which is 30 times cheaper than Celestia, thousands times cheaper than Ethereum. And then you have fast finality with EigenLayer. This partnership was announced last year, Q4, and we're actually expanding that partnership with EigenLayer, which I'll get to in a second. And then on top of that, we have ZK Wasm with Polygon Labs. So these 4 layers very much make the security stack that makes the experience robust and safe. Now, when you look at Near, we actually have a ton of dApps that chart dApp Radar. If you log on to dApp Radar today, you'll see that Hot Wallet is number 1 with more than 4 million monthly active users, followed by KaiKai. If you've ever heard of Kaiching, it uses AI LBS, location-based services data, to connect you with deals and opportunities, and it's really fun. And sometimes the users aren't really Web3 native. A lot of them actually are more Web2. So even dApps like Sweat have a lot of Web2 users that aren't degens. But if you were at ETH Denver about a month ago, Oleg, the founder of Sweat, demoed multi-chain gas relayer where he exchanged BNB and Near, which was really cool, a demo that was the first of its kind. So now, introducing chain signatures. I went ahead and said that we launched this last Wednesday, but what does that really mean? What does it look like to have chain signatures unlocked? So eigenlayers down here, there are MPC, multi multiplayer compute network, and really powering and unlocking these 5 platforms. So you see Ripple XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cosmos, Doge, and then soon to come, you have Solana and you have Polkadot. So this means no bridging, no managing other chains, no juggling a bunch of other addresses. You can all do it from the near contract or interface. Now, this is all possible thanks to our multiplayer compute network in partnership with EigenLayer. It functions as a decentralized signer for the near accounts, managing requests to the addresses on various other blockchains, while ensuring that only the account can sign. Users don't have to actually manage any of it, including the burden of security. This is really cool. It hasn't existed before. The MPC network uses near staking, and soon EigenLayer E3 stakers for security, with a path to decentralize even more. This is the second notable collaboration. As I mentioned before, we did fast finality with EigenLayer last October-November timeframe. So let's take a look at chain signatures again. With access to Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, XRP, this extends Bitcoin into the world of DeFi and unlocks a bunch of liquidity that wouldn't have been accessible before, at least not in this way. Bridgeless cross-chain DeFi, removing bridges and barriers from the cross-chain equation, massively simplifies user experience and also lets developers build new patterns within their apps. I don't know about you, but how many times have you gone in and tried to make a swap, and you will do like a test swap and you're using a bridge and it gets really crazy and complicated, and sometimes you don't feel like you can trust it, or sometimes you kind of give up on it. I've definitely been there. Well, apps can serve any blockchain right away without having to commit to a single pool of liquidity or tech stack. So when we talked about your dApps aren't really dApps, this really changes the game, because truly multi-chain dApps aren't going to be stuck in silos anymore, or just limited to a few blockchains. It's going to open doors. Multi-chain account abstraction, thanks to the multi-chain gas relayer, is an additional feature powered by chain signatures. So it lets the users cover gas fees on any other blockchains, so you don't have to have a bunch of cryptos in your wallet to cover that gas. So when we look at what the media is saying, you can see here some of the major publications such as The Block, such as CoinDesk, such as Blockworks, they've covered it. And they're all saying really positive things. And there's a lot of Korean media as well, but shame on me for not having that in here. You can Google it though. A lot of the DeFi KOLs are also talking about it. You can see Hitesh, DeFi Saint, Stacy as well. They're all saying really lovely things about chain signatures, and there's a lot of momentum behind the movement of chain abstraction. Now, looking at case studies unlocked, as we mentioned before, DeFi for non-smart contract chains are now accessible. So tokens, platforms like Bitcoin, which weren't previously programmable, you can go ahead and use now. You can unlock previously liquidity, you have bridgeless cross-chain DeFi, multi-chain account abstraction, and apps instantly reach all chains at once. So if you're ready to get started, you can go ahead, and if you're technical, you can go ahead and scan the QR code to the left, which will take you to docs, and you can scan the QR code to the right, which will take you to examples. And thank you. And right now it's currently on testnet, but mainnet will be available very soon. Thank you.